We don't talk about calories here. We talk about food energy. Calories are something you put in a bomb calorimeter and burn it. We oxidize energy, food energy. So the amount of kilocalories that we oxidize depends on the sources of food. And forget about all the myths out there. They're all myths. Fats vary quite a bit. I'll give you an example. DHA, which you can't oxidize because it's a structural material, has 9.3 kilocalories. Okay? But we don't oxidize that, so we don't use it as energy. So that's it. It's like protein. We spare it until we're down to nothing, and then we may convert some of it in a very inefficient way. And even protein has 4.44, not 4.44 to be more accurate. The different fatty acids have different types. So the higher the PUFA amount, the higher the K calories. So, for instance, it's 9.1 for something like a seed oil. So even if it was organically pressed and wasn't like this sort of manufacturing, and it was not as oxidized or damaged and all that, it'd still be 9.1. So where saturated fats are close to 5 or less. I'll give you an example. Cocoa butter. Cocoa butter, which has a lot of different saturated fats in it, of varied types, its kilocalories in terms of energy is 5.5. It's nearly half. See the difference? And then also a lot of it can do a reverse electron transport signaling through complex 1. That's where what we call the hormonal system and the sort of the messaging within the, not only in the body, but also in the not only in the cell, where you get certain messaging of different energy substrates that are coming through the different receptor sites, like glycolysis, the glucose that's coming through its receptor sites, the GLUT receptors, or on the other hand, the fats that are coming through their receptor site, so the CD36 receptor site that brings in the stuff into right smack in, they're coming right smack in to the Krebs cycle, and the Krebs cycle has got a rate limiting thing. Now you can understand where if you try to push too much of both energy sources, that's why you engage the Randall cycle, because there's only so much energy from both sources that the Krebs cycle can take. It's a rate limiting thing. So anyway, there you've got a bit of a Randall cycle explanation, example of these two pathways. But we don't talk on this. That is sacrilege. I'll send you to Ted's quarantine center, yes, to be whipped and dealt with nastily. No, we do not talk. There are no calories in, calories out nonsense. That is not. We are talking about kilocalories in terms of energy, and we always talk about energy, and the body will use energy in different ways or store it if it's not using it, and use it later on in that regard. But I would not bother adding butter or coconut or any other sort of stuff. Just focus on, we're not chasing ketones. That's not part of the trick. We're chasing good health, and basically focus on getting enough meat into your diet, just eating enough steaks. I mean, I do put a bit of butter on my food. I basically, where I put butter is when I have fish, because fish doesn't have a lot of fat. It's very, doesn't have as much fat. So I basically put butter on that, and then I'll put some lemon juice on it. That's the only foods that I actually put butter on is fish. I don't put butter on any other food. I have fish once or twice a week, or different seafood once or twice a week. Some of the other meats like beef, lamb, those sort of, and chicken, I will have those a couple of times a week. and about 3 to 4 times a week, which is the majority of time, I usually have pork. Yes, so, but that's me. And they are fatty cuts of pork with big fat pieces like that. So I don't think I need to add any more energy. There's plenty there.